you should think twice before accepting your first DUI plea offer, and I'm going to explain why in this video. I'm Dan Joffe, DUI lawyer at NextLaw. In this video, you're going to learn 4 crucial things about DUI plea deals that could save you from making a costly mistake. First, you'll discover what happens at your first DUI court appearance. Second, I'll explain why the stress of a DUI charge can lead to bad decisions. Third, you'll learn why reviewing all the evidence is absolutely critical. And finally, I'll show you how to properly evaluate a plea deal. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear understanding of how to approach a DUI plea deal strategically, potentially saving your future. So let me explain what typically happens when you first step into a court for a DUI charge. The Crown, that's the lawyer in charge of the case against you, is going to likely present an offer to you. That offer may be to plead guilty with a fine and a driving suspension so you could avoid a costly trial. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, I can get this over with and move on with my life. But there's more that you need to know before making that decision. Here's the thing about DUI charges. They're incredibly stressful. That stress can cloud your judgment and make any offer seem appealing if it promises to end your ordeal quickly. But think about this, that stress you're feeling, it's temporary, but the consequences of a DUI conviction, those can last a lifetime. So what I always tell my clients in this situation is stop, take a deep breath. Don't let that momentary stress push you into a decision you might regret for the rest of your life. Now, let's talk about evidence. And here's a crucial point that many people overlook. At your first court appearance, you often don't have all the evidence. In fact, you might not have any of it. So how can you possibly make an informed decision about a plea deal without knowing the full picture? You can't. It's like trying to complete a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing. That's why it's absolutely critical to get all the evidence before even considering a plea deal. And I'm not just talking about the police report. I mean everything, witness statements, breathalyzer results, video footage, everything. Once you have all that evidence, it's time to take a step back and reevaluate that initial offer. And here's why having an experienced DUI lawyer can make all the difference. We'll look at every piece of evidence with a fine-tooth comb. We'll assess the strengths and the weaknesses of the Crown's case. We'll consider all possible defenses. Only then, with all that information in hand, can you truly evaluate whether that plea deal is in your best interest. And you know what? A lot of times that deal that seemed so appealing at first, it might not look so good anymore. Remember, the Crown has to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. That is a high bar. And sometimes when you really dig into the evidence, you might find that their case is not as strong as they'd like you to believe. So let's recap. 1, don't rush to accept the first plea deal offer. 2, don't let stress push you into a hasty decision. 3, always get and review all the evidence. And 4, reevaluate any plea deal only after a thorough review of the evidence. If you're facing a DUI charge and need help evaluating a plea deal, book a free confidential phone call with me. The link to book the call is in the description of this video. If you found this information helpful and want to see more content like this, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos.